Well, I really rarely give up on a conversion, especially a fucking excavator, but I can't figure out what's going on here. I've, I get kind of frustrated with it. So it's the rotation. Everything else is fine. Got my articulations working. I got my grade blade working. You know, tracking forwards, backwards. Boom's all doing its thing. But it's the fucking rotation on this sucker. That's stopped right there. And it's going and then just jammed right up. So, I don't know. I got a suitable enough motor in there, I'd say. It's one of those .050 motors. I used to have a little N20 in there that I took out to put a bigger motor in. It's all 12 volts, 60 RPM, so it should be enough to turn it. Before I was having a bit of issues with the spacing of this, and I had to put some stuff in there to kind of push it back to get it to bite into the spur gear a little bit more. And I had put a piece of metal and a shim in there, but it kept on coming loose on me all the time, and then it would slip on the gear. So I filed down a bit of this stuff on the side here of this circular piece, really got that as tight as I could, made sure the gear's all nice and tight. I've got that sitting in a good spot. So it's, to me, I kind of honestly feel like the one thing I do notice about this one is this slip ring. You can hear that. It's kind of like a little bit crispy in there. And I've been feeling like for a long time now that maybe all the wiring I've got in there, it just it just gets bound up on the wiring, and then it can't overcome the force of the wiring. It's all twisted. Although this thing is supposed to spin, it's not like it can't spin. But I noticed on my other ones, I have some other slip rings upstairs, and I just grabbed them to see if it was making that sound, and they're super smooth. I don't know if that's really it or not, but I've gone all over the place with ESCs for this thing. Like, you know, if you look at the builds that the guys do in Germany, they have access to all these like super small little ESCs, so they can fit, like, have a ton of room left over in their builds. But the smallest ones I can find are what's available to me on AliExpress. I'm familiar with some of the websites that are in Germany. I found them, but they're all in German. I can't speak any of it, and I don't know if they'd even ship here, even if I could figure out what I needed. So yeah, I'm usually at the mercy of what AliExpress has to offer me to buy, and that's about it. So I do have 2 WPL ones in there, which are a bit bigger, but then the rest of them are the little 1 to 3S ESCs, which I'm not sure if they're even, I think they might even be barely in the realm of what these can do. One of them was feeling a little warm the other day. Anyway, it's just that it feels like it's getting bound up on the wiring, so I'm not sure. What I got underneath this thing was I did because I didn't have anywhere to mount this, and this all needs to spin, I just did, on the bottom, I just did like a friction fit ring. So if you see that there, I 3D printed that piece, and it just sits around. It kind of helps to keep this all held in place. And then it's kind of hard to show because obviously the excavator, well, it won't turn for starters. Kind of a bit of a hiccup. You know, I can get kind of going. Oops, hitting the machinery. It's okay that way, but it changes when you put weight in the bucket too, right? As soon as I put weight in the bucket, things become a bit different, and I like to try and test things with pushing the boom out and in, and, you know, make sure that it's going to spin in all the different positions that it's going to operate in. So yeah, I'm really not sure. I am kind of getting to a point where I'm getting kind of sick and tired of farting around with it. Like I said, I use a traxxas spur gear and a 14 tooth pinion gear for the rotation on it. See if I can get a little bit of a shot of that on the camera. If you can kind of see, it's not the greatest, but I'll spin it around. Maybe you can see a bit of it there. There's the gear, right? And it just rides on that spur gear, which I hole sawed. At one point I thought maybe I hadn't drilled the spur gear, because when I get the spur gear, it's got all this stuff in the middle. I got to take it all off. So I have to fix it to a piece of wood, find the center hole, line it all up, cut it with a hole saw, drill it out, and then put it on here. And I thought I had it just a little bit off center, because it would get kind of tight on the one side and it would get a little loose on the other side. But I mean, I really should have tightened that up by now, and I don't think it was anything that was so drastic that it was not going to allow it. When I did my chafe, I never had any of this issue. Chafe's a lot smaller, but I put a slip ring in it as well. And that's only using like a, I think I honestly, my chafe only uses like a 6-volt 30 RPM motor to turn the thing. But it's different machine, it's different size stuff, so it's not going to be the same. But yeah, I don't know. If anybody's got any ideas, sometimes if I ask for ideas, someone will just send me a link to like a whole 3D printed thing. Well, I don't want a 3D printed thing. I've got one right here. I just want to try and see if someone's got like some sort of a gear or something like that I could put on there. The one thing I did want to ask is that I see people when they build excavators, and sometimes I wonder if they actually have a slip ring inside the thing or not. And it looks like they don't. So I wonder how your excavators rotate all the time without your wiring from the undercarriage getting caught up in the top. I thought about taking this whole thing right out of here and just seeing if if it would just help and just wire everything down below. I would never not have it be able to be infinitely rotating anymore, but maybe I'm trying to come up with ways to fix it before I decide to strip this thing and get rid of it, because I spent a lot of time working on a lot of parts for it, especially the boom. It's pretty specific. I don't really want to lose all that stuff. But yeah, unfortunately for this one, for me, the rotation's just been an absolute nightmare. It was good for a while, like I said, but it's really starting to get to be kind of almost not really worth the hassle anymore. It frustrates me. I don't really like being frustrated for too long on something. But I also don't like folding a conversion too, because it is a cool model. I just can't figure out why I'm having so much binding issues with stuff. Anyways, that's just kind of, I was going to do this, well, I wasn't going to do it last night, but I had intentions of pulling it apart last night and trying to see if I can come up with a solution. So I 3D printed a new motor mount to hold that. And it did tighten it up, which was good. I almost kind of wonder if I got it too close now and it's binding on the gear, or if it's this won't spin properly or something. I'm really not sure. But maybe I'm just going to put this on my channel and see if I can get some feedback from some people, as well as to really emphasize, I wanted to ask specifically, about how people are getting wiring through their machine without using a slip ring, from what I can kind of see. Oops. And how you're not having any binding issues with your rotating, unless you're just not able to rotate your excavators 360 degrees all over the place all the time. Yeah, I'd like to figure something out for that, because like I said, it's a cool model. It all functions. The rotation on this one just got me beat, and I can't figure out why. So if anybody's got any insight, that'd be really greatly appreciated, because I wanted to use this excavator with my Western Star dump truck that I was going to be working on. So yeah, anyways, and I'm trying to keep everything all 1/16 scale too. I definitely thought about trying to get a print, like get that 3D printed Cat 308 excavator I saw, or maybe it's a 306 or something. It's all 3D printed. It's got linear servos on it. It's a really nice model, but it's 1/14 scale, and I really like to try and keep things 1/16 if I can, just for the size, and because pretty much I started doing brooder conversions, and for the most part they're all 1/16 anyways, so I wanted to try and keep everything the same. Anyways, yeah, would love to get some feedback. If anybody's got any ideas, please let me know. Thanks. Shout out.